All right, hey guys, this is for our peer editing. Um, I'm gonna talk over this video. I'm gonna link both on Classroom. There's a woman that narrates this. She talks a little slow, so I just wanted to kind of speed it up a little bit. So you're gonna see on Turnitin, and I think it looks like this for you guys. Again, I don't know, just because my view is different as the instructor of the class. You're gonna have two assignments basically. You have one where the draft will be uploaded, and then you have the second, which is going to be labeled as the PeerMark review. What that basically is going to look like, you are going to basically be kind of randomly assigned a paper out of our class, and you're going to have some questions to address throughout. Aside from you making comments and changes and edits to the paper as best you can, I will have a couple questions for you guys to answer to go along with it. As an example, it might be something about the thesis. Is the thesis clear and, giving you a heads up about what the body paragraphs are going to talk about? Does the paper, and it might be something to just comment on rather than answer. So as you can see over here, there are short answer questions. And I may have a couple, you will have a couple to address. So instead of just, writing on a paper or annotating or whatever, you will kind of respond to something about the paper in question. You may have a question about, does your peer partner connect back to the thesis within each of your each of the explanations? One error or misstep that I see on some of the papers is kind of branching off into summary rather than proving a point. You have a thesis, you are trying to prove a connection between your book and Germany, or your book and what censorship does to a country, or your book and something about the treatment of women. You don't want to just kind of restate a quote or just tell me something about the book. You want to connect back to, what you're trying to prove. You are essentially trying to convince me that you have found something worthy of discussion and analysis. Okay, so keep that in mind as you are reading. So you're going to be able to, and you have a little tool thing here, and I hope it's clear. If you haven't used it before, I'm hoping it kind of works for you. Basically, if I were to click, let's just say I clicked, and of course it'll play. Usually that allows me to type onto the paper. So wherever I click, a little word box will come up. So I think it'll possibly look like that for you. For me, it's a little different, but if I wanted to comment on, this right here, if I click there, a word box would come up. And then you would be able to kind of type your comment in there. You can highlight things, as you're going to see this speaker in the video do in a second. I don't highlight a ton when I'm doing my papers. I typically keep it to commenting. If you're commenting on a certain passage, you may want to highlight. Maybe it's a sentence that you just think your partner should change. And if that's the case, then you may want to highlight it and make that clear in your comments. But keep in mind, you'll have some questions over here. All right, I'll probably limit it to 3. All right, maybe 2. And that'll be mostly big picture comments about sort of the success of the paper. Otherwise, Turnitin usually will find the spelling mistakes, but if you find, some egregious errors, MLA format is not correct, or there's no works cited page, keep that in mind. Make those comments so that your partner can make some changes. Yeah, I think that's roughly it. Obviously, there's a 4-minute video here. I'm not going to kind of go through it all. I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. They're kind of just going through some of the different tools that you have. I don't expect you to go too crazy here. All right, comments are fine. You can obviously abbreviate, like awkward is something I usually will put. If something's phrased a little weirdly, or it's vague. I use vague a lot. If it's whatever you're trying to do or say is not clear. Typically, that'll be something I would say um, in my comments. So please do me the favor of watching the video. Obviously, if you're looking at it right now, obviously you're watching at least my screencast. Watch the video. You can hear her. You might be able to speed it up on your computer in the settings. I imagine you actually probably could. Yeah, playback speed. You might want to speed it up a little bit if she does talk pretty slow. But anyway, please pay attention to the rules, or not the rules. What you need to do. My expectation is that you're going to upload your paper to turn it in by noon, and then over the course of the next day, you'll have a chance to peer edit somebody's paper. And I believe it'll be randomly assigned to you if that's the assumption that I'm under. So do your best. Be thoughtful in your comments. Be kind to each other in your comments. Try to be helpful so that your